And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Believe it or not, Tuesday morning. Today is September the 23rd. A little bit cooler than we started. It was in the 70s earlier. Now we're down to 69 as this day is beginning. We should get very hot, though. 93 for high. We're going to hit a heat index of about 97 today. So another warm day. Now things will start to change as we get that rain forecast tomorrow. We do have severe weather estimated for the East Mississippi side somewhere between 2 to 9 p.m. tomorrow night. So we'll be on top of that. Should the weather turn bad, we'll go live to keep you updated with everything that's going on with the weather. It's already a Tuesday. We got some guests coming in to talk to you about Rose Hill Cemetery. They do this once a year, the big tour. We'll find out all of that from Miss Ann coming up at 7 o'clock this morning. I hope you'll join us for all that. Let's go to Collinsville now and get our good word of the day.
Don't touch that fruit. It'll kill you. Those are essentially the words God spoke to Adam after he placed him in the garden.
For those of us out there who are married, you will probably agree with this statement. There is nobody who can bring you more joy and happiness than your spouse. On the flip side, there's nobody who can make you madder or more frustrated than your spouse, right? Marriage, man, it's such a unique and dynamic institution, and it's implemented by God for His glory. Ephesians 5 speaks to this and the different roles that a husband and a wife play to complement one another to make the marriage work. But we see marriage actually instituted in Genesis chapter 2. We see God say that it's not good that man should be alone, and God says that He will make a helper that's fit for the man, for Adam. And while God had already created everything else, the animals, the birds of the sky, vegetation, whatever you could name of, none of it hit the mark when it came to actually helping the man, being a helpmate for the man. So God calls Adam to fall into a deep sleep. He performed divine surgery, and out of him, He created woman. Then God pronounces what marriage really is in just a really short verse in Genesis 2:24. He says that the man and the woman were to hold fast to one another, committed to one another in a loving relationship. And since this was pre-fall, pre-sin, right, they enjoyed each other's company without blemish and the Lord's companionship and worship of Him without blemish. Now for us, since sin has entered the world, it makes marriage about 2 four-letter words. The first one, you probably can guess it is love, right? We must have love for each other. That's obvious. But the second, it takes work. And not just work to fix your spouse, right? But to evaluate yourself and ask God to work on you. God instituted marriage for His glory. But how often do we turn it into, hey, what can I get from the other person? Or how can I benefit from it? Here's my encouragement to you. Faithfully serve each other if you're in marriage. This is God's design. Don't be in it for what you can gain. Be in it for God's glory. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that message this morning as we get this day underway. Collinsville First Baptist, they'll be open for services tomorrow evening. Now, nobody yawn. That stuff's contagious. It's still early today as we try to get this day started. I watched a video, and I'm not going to play it just for the sheer simple my. But I had to dig deep to figure out where it was. It was in Florida, and I'm not sure I'm going to pronounce this correctly. Alachua County, Alachua. I'm not the best at pronouncing words of that nature, but Alachua County, Florida is what we'll call this. A parent went to the Florida school board with a complaint. And I'd say she had a pretty good complaint as her 6-year-old child was in class. As the teacher noticed that the child had conservative values, the class got to vote and he was given the dictatorship award of the class of the day. 6 years old, Florida. School teacher allowed that to happen. There were some other names that were used that I won't say because it's just not worth they use that word too much. That's a teacher. What do we have in our schools across America? I ask. It worries me because a teacher is a huge influence on a child. Y'all know that as well as I do. Did the Department of Education cause all of this originally? I'm not sure I can give you the answer to that. But it's something to watch. It's easy to Google this on Twitter. And it happened. There's no doubt on that. It's shameful is what that is. As we go to California, we have someone, a hiker. He was from Argentina. He was in California hiking up the side of a mountain. He's fallen. He did not make it. It happened on September 12th. They have recovered the body at this point. Now, let's talk about what happened yesterday afternoon. As you heard, ABC has lifted and retracted the ban on Jimmy Kimmel, and he will be able to turn to the air. But that's not so good for him after all. As we dig deeper into this, Sinclair, which started all of this, and again, it's because of revenue, was the real reason, and all of this escalated. But Sinclair, even though ABC is reinstating him, is not going to air his program. They will preempt it and play something else. Now, what makes Sinclair important in this? Well, they're in 40 markets, in major markets. He will not be seen in Dallas and places of this nature, of these large audiences. He won't be there. And they said that they will not return him until he makes a public apology to the Kirk family. And that's standing your ground. I'll give them that. Again, ABC, when they pulled him off, was because of this network. It's a group of stations owned by a company that feel that he has crossed the line of where he should have been, of values in America. They've pulled him. They're not going to air the show. Will he make this apology? I don't know. I figure that first show will be hard on Republicans and people of faith, is what I figure. I could be wrong. They're banking that his return will be a huge, huge, huge watching event. Well, it won't be when these 40 stations don't air it. That's my 2 cents on it. We'll see what becomes of it. Will he? Randy Quaid, not the actor, is a guy that is over their programming for that. He released a statement on Twitter. It's there if you care to read that. And easy to find on Twitter. My, oh my. It happened yesterday, as we see that the president has officially signed an executive order making Antifa a domestic terrorist organization. Now, with that being said, for a few years it will be illegal. It worries me, and I've said this over and over, there are so many executive orders in Congress not backing up what he's doing. All of this, should a Republican go out of office, will be reversed. That will happen if Congress does not step up and start passing some of these as actual laws. It's good as long as he's in there. What will happen if a new administration comes in? All of this goes away. It's just being overlooked. Venezuela. You know, the United States has been in a little tiff with them. Cartels, drug lords. They are they're handing out weapons to average citizens to protect themselves against the U.S. of A. And well, there's part of it is they're weaponizing ladies and drug cartels are bad. Very, very bad. Auburn is losing their basketball coach. Coach Bruce Pearl has announced his retirement. His son, Stephen, will take over. And again, I don't watch a lot of basketball, so I can't tell you if he was good, bad, or just kind of down the middle. I have no idea on that. What else do we have this? iPhone. The new one is getting ready to come out. It will be slightly higher, but let's be, as the CEO of Apple said, let me be very clear about this. I think it's going to go up about $100, but it has absolutely nothing to do with tariffs. They've figured out a way to ship it to the United States of where it's being manufactured to where the cost is not going to be passed on to the customers. The technology changes, he said, that rose the cost. Now, raise your hand if you've bought a new phone in the last year. Odie, have you bought one lately?
About a year and a half ago.
Year and a half ago. I had to buy one. I carry a couple of phones with me at all times. I have to have a communication phone and one that we go live with when we're on the scene. Well, the one that I went live with had just really had its better days, so I bought a new one. Y'all want to know what that cost? It's a phone now. It was $14.99 plus tax. And I got the medium size. I didn't get the extra room. I figured I could delete pictures at $1,500. Seriously, $1,500. There are a few of you watching that remembers that day back in 1991 when you too went and bought a bag phone and they gave it to you just to have you as a customer. Not anymore. $1,500. And again, we're seeing another $100 price increase on this. You should know all of this. We had two hunters that were elk hunting in Colorado. It started with a C. I made a mistake there. They had been missing for several days. They have found their bodies. Both of the hunters, and they were young fellows, were struck by lightning. The coroner has confirmed that. Condolences to their family. That is a tragic way to go. They went into the woods. They've been missing since September 11th. They were found this week. That's awful there. What else do we have going on here? Now, as we touch a little bit on the Charlie Kirk event that happened. Now, if the numbers are right, I had seen numbers 200,000, but I think everything that I've read, we can confirm it was close to 100. Inside, it was 70,000. Outside, at least 20,000, maybe a little more. So that puts it roughly at 100 that we can confirm. Now, there's other people saying that it was another 100,000 somewhere. But a Wyoming lawmaker really wanted to go. Him and his wife were going. He's on crutches. They got within 3 miles of the stadium, and it was bottlenecked. He wasn't going to make it. So him and his wife, and he on his crutches, limped his way to the stadium. He made it. Took him a little over an hour.
Wow.
That's hustling to go that far with crutches. Yeah. So I salute it. Let me see what his name was. Wyoming Representative Scott Smith. He has a physical disability, and that's why he's got crutches. I give the man that a boy for being dedicated to going to an event like that. That's tough. I get tired going down to the end of the driveway. So we salute that. That's admirable. Let's see what else we've got going on this morning. We have identified. I'd mentioned that we lost a helicopter with our boys in it this week. This was last Wednesday, I think, that it went down. They have been identified. Chief Warrant Officer Andrew Cully, Andrew Cross, and Sergeants Donovan Scott and Jadlyn Good. They announced the names late yesterday afternoon. But all of these, the oldest was 39, 35, and the other two young men were 25 and 23 years old. They leave all families behind. We think of their families. They gave the ultimate sacrifice for our country during an accident. We fear for them. Great Smoky Mountains, as we mentioned earlier, someone that was visiting the United States and California slipped and fell. We had somebody that was missing in the Great Smoky Mountains, went on a hiking trip. Tragedy on this story as well. The 21-year-old has been found, and he is deceased. And of course, autopsies will reveal more about who, what, and how. We don't have all the information just yet, but we feel for them. The guy that is accused at the golf course, do y'all remember him? That's accused of attempted assassination. He has rested his case. He represented himself in court. He rested his case at the end of yesterday. Pretty soon we will know from now of how that turns out. Again, state you're only as good as your attorney. Don't suggest doing that. Well, this has got some people bent out of shape this morning. Supreme Court got together. They did a little huddle, and, well, they gave an announcement. There's some that's not going to like this. They've given the thumbs up for Trump firing the Federal Trade Commission lady. Again, there's going to be some that don't agree with that, but they said it's okay. Her name was Rebecca Slaughter. Now, I think there's one more that he's attempting to get rid of, and I can't remember her name. I can see her face, and we'll see if when they vote on that. It's the other one that deals with the interest rates, if you'll remember, and I can't remember her name. They still have not voted on that just yet. But he come after her over using 2 homes as tax write-offs, and then she's in charge of interest rate, causes a conflict. We'll see how the Supreme Court votes on that also. Do you remember the guy that we mentioned in California that shot up a TV station? Basically drives up, rolls down his window, and shoots at the TV station several times. He was arrested, and now we're learning a little bit more. I won't call it a list, but he had notes in his car that was stating how much he disliked Kash Patel, Bondi, and a few other people. He was an extremist of some sort, and he didn't care for them. Why he went after the television station there, I don't know. I don't know what their tie-in to all this would be unless they ran a story that he really didn't like. That happened to me yesterday, Odie. It's amazing how when someone gets in trouble, we don't seek after one individual. If you're arrested and taken, we do a story on it. And this fellow, this is about the 6th time that he's not accepted that he had a family member arrested and has used some awful language toward me in public. Oh. Getting to that point to where I probably need to do something. Watch your back always with people that have these problems. For whatever reason, they can't deal with reality that someone in their family actually was at fault. And they blame others for pointing it out to the public to be wary of them. We'll see where this goes, and we'll see if we need to go to the Sheriff's Department on this or MPD to have it handled. But not very nice, I'll say that. That's about the 6th time it's happened. Let's see what else we've got going on. What happens when you really want to do a robbery and you think you've come up with the most clever plan to get away with it at 4:45 in the morning in Nashville, Tennessee? What do, Odie? You go to the closet and get out your gorilla outfit and go rob somebody. They still caught them. They were identified by the costume. My, oh my, oh my. Let's see what else we've got this morning. I know that there are a lot of problems when it comes to health in the United States. We have seen over the last 9 months, some agree with the guy and some don't. RFK, as you get into all of these drugs and food dyes, do they cause cancer? I think most of us feel that there's something to it. Do I have scientific evidence? Have I read the books on all this? I have not. There's some people that say the man doesn't know what he's talking about. But I do know that a lot of Americans are obese, and, well, we've got cancer galore. Did you see all this about Tylenol yesterday? That they're linking this where pregnant women should not be taking this, and it's causing autism, according to this. Now, there's some saying, oh, there's no way that that's true. If I were pregnant, I would be extra careful. There's nothing more precious than a child. I'm sure there's going to be more scientific studies on this, but the president brought it up yesterday, and so is RFK, Robert Kennedy. That's scary, very scary. We go to San Antonio for our next story this morning. 2 children, God bless them, 3 years old, 6 years old. And at 3 and 6, you look to one person. Majority. There's a lot of dads, but majority, the mom is the one that children lean on. There's a connection with a child and a mother that, well, it's a bond that can't be broke. We all know that. A mother left those 2 in a car, and they died of heat exhaustion. The sheriff in San Antonio in that county is saying there's inconsistencies of her story that doesn't match what happened. There's going to be an investigation launched. That breaks my heart. Breaks it. I'm not going to lie about that. Boy, you got to be pretty good. You ever applied for a job and there's several people applied for it? Think about being, how many jobs? It was 10 jobs open. 8,000 people sent in their application for it. And for you to be chosen 10 out of 8,000 people, you got to be pretty good at what you do.
Oh, yeah.
And what I'm talking about is NASA. They have chosen 10 new astronauts out of 8,000 applicants. Boy, that's a lot.
Wow.
That's a lot. My, oh, my. I agree with this. We've got to have tougher rules when it comes to judges on people that bail out. They'll do something horrible and, well, they're out on the street in 2 hours. North Carolina is attempting to reform their bailing system. Let's hope that works and they put something that's pretty stiff on that. It needs to be done. It's all across America there. We'll be right back in just a moment there as we get ready for your weather forecast. Oh, don't rush off. We'll be back with that in just a moment.
Are home problems turning your life upside down? Trust Heblon Heating and Air Conditioning to save the day. We can keep you comfortable with special savings for your home, like up to $3,000 off new HVAC, $69. Keep the power on with a generator. Get $200 off installs and 0% financing for 60 months. We do it all at Heblon Heating and Air Conditioning and offer financing options for any repair or installation. Call for a free quote or visit us online at HeblonHeatingandCooling.com.
Collinsville, Mr. Discount Drugs, your local pharmacy and gift shop, thanks you for your continued support. Whether you shop with us in-store, through our app, over the phone, or in our drive-thru, our team will provide the best personalized customer service experience you expect from your local pharmacy. When you call or message us, you are promptly greeted by the Mr. Discount team that's ready to help. When you choose our pharmacy, you're choosing a locally owned pharmacy that cares about you and your community. Collinsville, Mr. Discount Drugs makes a difference.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA.
As we go to our forecast this morning, we go back to 16 when it was 99 today. Back in 1999, it was a low of 40. 26 years? That don't even sound right, y'all. I'm going to quit saying it.
Yeah.
26 years ago. As we look at today's high meridian, should see 93, but don't let that 93 stop there because the heat index will reach 97. That sure is hot for a September day, isn't it? Further north, we'll go a little bit cooler. It gets there around Corinth. We'll see 86. We'll see that over at South Haven as well as you get into the Tunica area. Down south, as we go to Lucedale, we'll see 93. 87 there around Gulfport if you're going to be in those areas there. Should see a little sprinkles today in Natchez as well. As we go east into Bama, we see that we're showing 93 for Demopolis, almost the same as Meridian. 91 in Clanton, 92 in Birmingham, and 91 there in Auburn is what we see forecasted. And you saw a glimpse of this. We will have a level 1 storm tomorrow afternoon. This should move into the East Mississippi side somewhere between 2 to 9 p.m. and reach Alabama by 3. So y'all be prepared for storms tomorrow afternoon. This is a level 1. We could see wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour, isolated storms, and hail up to a quarter size. Now, there's no mention of tornadic activity for tomorrow, but we could see some heavy downpours, and you never know with flash flooding. We'll watch that storm for you. As we get into Thursday, it will be due south of us and into Alabama. Should not affect us. We'll get rain on Thursday, but not like that. We're above average when it looks at these temperatures here. Look how warm that is for East Mississippi. We're getting it. Hate it, but it's true. As we look at our forecast, it will be Thursday before all of this settles down. After this rain moves through tomorrow, we'll start seeing temperatures drop. We're going to go from 93 to 83 by Thursday. We got a 40% tomorrow, and then increasing to a 70% chance by Thursday. By the weekend, we're into the 80s, 84, 85. That's not bad, is it? I'll settle for that. Sunday and Monday, we get up to around 87, 88-ish. As we move into October the 7th, all the way out from there, we're going to remain in the 80s once we hit the 29th. That's what we're showing right now. That's 89. That's just barely under it, but we'll see that. By the time we get to October, temperatures start to make a change there. By the 2nd, we're at 85 and should remain level there for at least 5 to 6 days. I'm fond of that. I like that. As we look at our fishing forecast this morning from our friends out at Clarkdale, best times to fish today is going to be beginning at 1 o'clock till about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, we've got a pretty good time coming up this morning at 8 a.m. until 9 if you want to get out there and fish. I know Frog, I think, has already been fishing this morning. think we got some pictures of some fish he's caught. As we look here, what else we got going on today? Let's look to these tropics of what's going on now. We've got 2 storms that are attempting to develop. 80% chance on this one here in red, and the next one there at 50% as it makes its way. We'll see if it curves away from the east coast. Gabrielle at a Cat 4 this morning, moving along at 138 miles an hour, gust of 167. Those millibars at 948 moving northeast at 13 miles an hour. Pretty strong there. Let's go back and take a look at our radar now of what we've got. And I didn't click the right button again. Sometimes it's just that way. I don't know what happened there. All right, let's see. Some things just aren't operating right. Let me get back over here. We'll get it worked out by the time we get the show. We do have a lot of fog showing up around Hattiesburg this morning. Look at this. Bunch of it there around Laurel, Hattiesburg, those areas there. Be careful. Down around Mobile, we have a few as well. And if we've got it here, when you get into Clark County, be looking for those low-lying areas there, that close to Jones County. There's probably some in that area. We're not showing any rain in the state right now. We do have some there in Nashville, those areas there around Jackson, Tennessee, Murfreesboro. We got showers there in Chattanooga as well this morning. Douglas, Georgia, getting a little bit of fog as well this morning. That's a recap of our weather. We're going to be back in a couple of moments and be live for the morning show. I hope you'll join us. We'll have some special guests coming in this morning. Lots going on at the Scotty Ray Report. We'll see you then in just a few moments.